Hello. Few days ago, a very unfortunate glacier burst took place in Uttarakhand, Chamoli district, so which causes a sudden flash flood and so much devastation took place. So the question is, did an avalanche cause a glacial lake to burst, or could an avalanche or landslide have dammed a river for some time, causing it to overflow, or did ice block break off the glacier due to rise in temperature? So these are few questions which could be the causes of this glacier burst. So people are saying that that part of glacier fell into the river and which causes rise in water level, and some other are saying that from a very height a lump of a huge amount of ice fell into the river and immediately get melted. So I'm seeing the second possibility, and I want to just check it mathematically whether it is possible or not. So let's see, 1 kg ice, if 1 kg ice from glacier we want to melt it, how much heat it would require? For that we need certain uh, constant values, certain known values, so that we can calculate it. So first thing which we require is specific heat capacity of ice, which is 2.1 into 10 to the power 3 joule per kg Kelvin. And latent heat, some people also call it specific latent heat, but I use the term latent heat only. Latent heat of melting is equal to 334 actually um, joule per kg. Alright, so generally glacier has ice at a temperature about minus 40 to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Less than that, but I'm taking a general case. In general, temperature of ice in a glacier is somewhere around minus 40 to minus 50 degree Celsius. So if we expect that a glacier to get melted, then first we have to find out how much energy it requires to heat up 1 kg of ice of glacier, to convert it from this negative temperature to 0 and then melt it. So it will take two parts. It will be in two part. Let us suppose initially 1 kg. I am doing it for 1 kg. Okay, then later on, if we supply some heat to it, it will from minus 50 degrees Celsius it will reach 0 degrees Celsius, and then if we further heat it, then it will get melted at 0 itself. So here we have to supply, let us suppose Q1 heat, and here we have to supply Q2 heat. So total heat required is Q1 plus Q2, where Q1 is mc delta T and Q2 is ml. This is C, this is L. So I'm taking it for 1 kg. So 1 C is 2.1 into 10 to the power 3 delta T. That is difference between both of them. So that will be 50 plus ml, again 1 kg. L is this 3.3 into 10 to the power 5. So it will be approximately 10.5 something, 100.5 something. So that will be okay. So that's it. Because of one decimal place, it will look like this. So we can write it 1.05, or we can round off it. So we can round off this 5. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm just rounding off to 1. Oh, now power will be 5. So that will be 4.3 into 10 to the power 5 joule. This amount of heat is required. This amount of energy is required. Now, in order to supply this amount of energy, so we are assuming that this lump of ice as a part of glacier is falling from a height. So its potential energy is getting converted into kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy is getting converted into this heat energy. Now, in order to generate this amount of energy, what must be the height from which this 1 kg ice would fall? Then its gravitational potential energy difference mgh should be equal to this value. However, there are some other factors like frictional force also exist there. I'm just ignoring that part, but we can get a rough assumption. That is also the case, but here we will get a rough assumption. So mass is 1 kg, acceleration due to gravity is 10. Height, let us suppose we want to find height from where we have to drop this lump of ice, this piece of 1 kg ice, in order to convert it into water. So here it is. So h is equal to 4.3 into 10 to the power 4 meter, which is approximately equal to 40 kilometer, which is not possible. And let us suppose most of its part, which is the required energy, let us suppose friction is producing that energy, but still it is a very very large amount of energy that only friction cannot produce this. And in fact, if potential energy has given it that energy, still it requires a very large value of height. So this possibility that uh, the heat generated due to the impact of glacier when it fell into the river has caused enough heat so that it get melted immediately, and it caused that flash flood. I disagree with that, but this is just my opinion. Um, as I told you, there are other factors also. But what I believe that it is just because that lump of glacier fell into the river, and we know whenever something falls in the water, then level of water rises. That's so simple. So it fell into the river. So not only level of water rose up, but there was a disturbance, waves, huge waves created, and this we can understand in our daily lives also. If you put uh, in bucket full of water, you put something gently, then little bit water will come out. But if you forcefully throw something into, and I believe that the missing people will be found soon, and those who lost their life, we pray for their families. That's what we can do.